Welcome to Watching Complain.
Well, I'm going to complain.
Rob.
Should this be...
It's not my name.
Will, Phil, and Bill.
Yeah. You'll figure us out if you continue.
Will, Phil.
WatchingComplain.com.
And I
I
am
want to be
Bill.
like this.
And
No, I don't.
filmgamer.net.
God, my head is so weirdly shaped.
Bez.
Today
You
we're
guys
talking
have
about...
nice fat round heads. Mine looks like
Nice
a
fat
fucking
round body,
question
too.
mark.
My fat round head goes with my
Are we
fat
talking
round
about
body.
up here or down?
I need to get a hairstylist.
We're talking about Hawkeye 1 and 2. Did you watch both?
Yes,
Fuck,
of course.
unfortunately.
All right. Go for it.
Okay. Here's my stance. I did not like WandaVision. Could not get into it. I watched about 2 episodes, and my brother really wanted me to watch it, so we watched the third one. And I still...
He must have been really disappointed when you were like, I hate it.
I didn't... Yeah. I didn't think it was good. I get that it was like satirizing sitcom, blah, 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 deconstruction, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But the things that it was deconstructing, like I Love Lucy and whatnot, were actually like funny.
I have
Whereas
them
this
all.
kind of looked down on it.
See, I don't think I looked down on it. I thought it perfectly satirized that stuff. I was really impressed with it.
So
And then Kat Denning showed up, and I lost interest.
So then...
Root beer jugs.
Her tits are covered up so much. She's wearing like fucking turtlenecks and coats,
So
fucking scarves.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier to me was like interesting. I was watching it and I'm like, this is way more interesting
I disagree.
and gripping than I thought it would be.
Blah.
And then it gets, even though there were elements I hated, like Carly Morgenthau, who's like a terrorist that the show completely sympathizes with. And then, but I was still holding on. And then it gets to the end of the series and it completely shits the bed. And
Is it coming back for a second season?
I even thought the end was
no,
good.
they're gonna do like a 4th Captain America movie, they say. And then Loki, I've seen a few episodes. It's uninvolving.
I love Loki.
But that's like the spirit of the show. And then I never watched What If, although I hear, no complaints.
What If was good.
Yeah.
Except for the zombies.
So where do you guys think that it's going to rank in terms Hawkeye ranks of what you've seen so far in between those shows? I go
that's a
number
good
1,
question.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Number 2, Loki.
Number 1, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Number 3,
or whatever it's called. What, Captain
just
Metal
don't
Arm.
like
Stop the soldier metal arm.
He's not... in my...
they call it that at the end of the series.
See that,
so.
Will? That's why we give you such windows of time to talk in yourself. Because you'll be like,
Wow.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah. So
That's the review that we need.
That's how my
tend to-
brain works.
Because I tend to ramble and stop. Yeah. I'm gonna stop doing that though.
That's,
No,
that's
he was
good,
talking
though.
about me.
That's a good. No, yeah, I was talking about him.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good ranking order. I like that idea of
What?
ranking them. No, not that his order is good. I like the idea of
Alright.
ranking them.
Alright.
Yeah.
For me, WandaVision absolutely number 1.
Loki's number 1.
Number 2. Oh, fuck, that's a hard one.
WandaVision.
Number 2 would have to be. Fuck, that's hard.
WandaVision.
It's got to be. I think it would have to be Captain Soldier Metal Arm would be number 2 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Loki
I didn't like it that much.
sucks. Number 3, Hawkeye is garbage, but it's better than Loki.
There's nothing at stake in Loki.
Yeah. Not to mention,
Not yet.
like I've
mean
fucking
not
told
yet?
you
The
before,
series is over.
the same problem
no, it
that
isn't. There's
Hawkeye
like 4 more
has.
episodes, isn't there?
Your character
it's not.
did
It's not 2
some terrible
episodes.
things. If your
I'm talking
character
about
does some
Loki.
terrible things,
Oh, I thought you were saying
they're a
Hawkeye.
terrible person. You can't come back from doing terrible
there is a
things.
season 2 of
yeah,
Loki.
like tying somebody down and then blowing up the building they're in and still see them as sympathetic.
Or, like in Loki, hey, you know what I did? This Agent Coulson everyone likes? Stab right through the fucking back.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm doing in New York? I'm bringing in the Chitauri to fucking wipe all of you out.
Genocidal maniac.
But we get into that same topic from when we reviewed it, saying, "Oh, we can't do better." Like, if I did something bad, I can't make better on this.
That's
Our thing
insinuating
about
that
doing-
Hitler
our
can
thing
come
about
back
doing
from
better-
what he did.
our
I'm
thing-
just saying Hitler's a way up there, but I'm saying like someone who
No
killed
shit.
someone couldn't
I've
be in
got-
jail and be like, "Oh, I was in jail that
I've
time. I
got
had
the
time to
same
think about it."
complaint.
Loki has killed more people than Hitler.
I've got the same complaint of this show, but we'll get into
How many
that.
times in Star Trek does this trope happen? It's just like the bad guy becomes a
How are
good
you
guy, and
rating
then
the
they
series,
are
though?
a big
Rate
character.
the Disney series.
All right.
Disney series, Aladdin number 1.
No, B series. MCU. Fourth phase.
Loki was my first.
Okay, number 2 is?
Probably WandaVision.
And number 3...
What else is there?
Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
and
What If?
Loki, What If, Oh, I didn't include what if.
What if would
What
have
we
to
did
be
Well, ju- oh,
my
just-
2 or
second,
3.
actually.
Get rid
But
of
okay.
second. Get rid of what if.
Where would-
so 3 would be
Where would this-
Falcon and yeah.
Where would this? Where would
Hawkeye
this
would
fall?
be above Falcon for me.
You think, eh?
It can be. I think that it can be because it
We'll see
seems
where it
more
goes.
focused and less ambitious than Falcon. It's not as tackling as big questions. To me, it's just should be like a fun spin-off, kind of like Iron Man 3 was.
So I like how this brat just saw Earth's mightiest heroes fight with guns, with lasers, with cued strength.
She only
with
saw the
flying
archery.
suits, with gamma radiation body transformation, and she says, "I want a bow and arrow.
Because
she didn't
that's
see
the
that.
one who she saw
Exactly.
save her, essentially.
I want a bow and arrow." Oh shit! The Iron Man just flew by. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, look at the Hulk! Fucking
But she
smashing
has
the-
a personal
Look,
connection.
there's a
She's
bow
seen
and
Hawkeye.
arrow. Yeah,
She's seen Hawkeye.
there's
I buy
a
it.
bow and arrow.
Although people say that young actress was not good.
So we're just supposed to forget that Hawkeye killed a whole shit ton of people during the blip as Ronin? Okay, cool.
No,
He's
we're
a
not
good guy.
forgetting. It's the whole reason that the plot kicks into motion is because he went on.
But the whole
main-
point is that you're supposed to still think Hawkeye's a good guy, which is the one complaint of Endgame. And
Do you
Endgame.
really have to think that he's a good guy to buy into the story? I don't think so. He
I
just,
don't. They're sitting there going, "I love you, kids. Don't you kids love me? I
but
love
that's
you,
his
kids."
family who doesn't
It's a
know.
separate thing.
They
for
don't
him.
know that he was a murderer.
That's
killing
his
me under
job,
the
So-
and that's his
so-
family.
Oh, so
That's
he's
why-
lying. So he's lying to his wife, his kids. But that's so much.
No.
What a better,
He's
cool,
lying to
nicer
his
guy
kids.
he is.
His wife
To a
has
point.
been
What
the
a
one.
great guy to lie to his wife and to
No,
his
his
kids,
wife's
as
been
well
the
as
one-
murdering a whole shit ton of people before. But they were bad guys.
But
You
Rob,
can't
his-
murder people for the good?
No, okay, that's not a good thing to say.
I do. I'll say it. Would you murder
the-
Hitler?
The wife.
Would you murder Hitler?
Yes, I would.
Boom.
Sure.
Done.
Oh wait, no,
Done.
no,
Done.
'cause that would make him a
Absolutely
martyr.
drops you.
That'd
Done.
be-
Now you see this. This
Yeah,
is
I'd
an
murder
interest-
Hitler in a heartbeat.
But
listen
in
to
World
what
War
you're
II,
talking
you're allowed
about.
to murder Hitler
Oh,
because
just
This
because
is
it's war?
Yes, that's what the Geneva Convention is,
Okay.
Phil.
Who cares?
This is an interesting
The law.
story about a person that you're discussing
We're
here.
not talking
Here's
about
what I
the
wanna say.
Ronin
law.
killed a whole bunch of people.
Let's get
Oh, no,
off
I'm-
Hitler.
I'm good
Let's
now.
get off Hitler.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't
I wanna
be on
address-
Hitler
I
now.
want to address your thing that you're saying.
Hitler
Is
doesn't
that
deserve
number
it.
one? Hawkeye's wife, Linda Cardellini. I don't remember her actual name in the show,
Hawkeye's
but
wife.
she does the
Hawk wife.
Yeah, she does the thing that
Freaks
where
and
she's
geeks.
not a nag, unlike most of the movies written that we've reviewed. She doesn't put him in that position where she has to be lied to or something. She gives him room and stuff. So the show isn't about, to me, accepting him as a bad guy. You can kind of still think Hawkeye is a piece of shit. And a lot of people do, and a lot of people think Jeremy Renner is even not great. But the thing to me is that it's about him forgiving himself or something like that. Or not even giving himself a second chance, but seeing that he means something in the eyes of this girl who he's using while taking, in a way, I suspect that's how it's going to go, taking the rest of his family for granted. And, you know, it fits in with the Christmas theme and stuff.
Maybe it'll turn into that. From what I've seen so
It's
far,
not gonna explore.
I have zero interest. I'll continue it to see where the show goes, but I do not care about her. I do not care about Vera Farmiga. I do not care
Bad wig on Vera.
right? The guy that plays the dad, Jack, I want him to get back to fucking Better Call Saul and finish that show.
Oh, he was on that?
Oh, he's the main bad guy
Brian
in Better Call
Darcy
Saul.
James?
Love him in Better Call Saul. He's so fucking
He's a
good.
caricature in this movie.
You should watch him in Better Call
Stupid.
Saul.
Yeah,
he's so fucking good.
I've watched Better Call Saul, and
Every part of this show, and I summed it up right at the end, so I don't want to skip to that.
I felt like he should have been in a Antonio Banderas movie, like,
Like
Zorro
Zorro.
or something.
But also, anyone who says mama should be run over with a truck. And Jeremy Renner keeps on telling his kids to say, well, mama's calling, mama bear, hey mama. Stop saying mama. Grown men should not say mama.
I call my wife babes all the time.
How much of a goddamn emotional needy basket case is Hawkeye? Which, as you guys are saying, might be the point of the story.
he is not credited in Better Call Saul. Are you sure you're talking about Brian Darcy James?
The main bad guy that plays Jack.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't...
I'm fairly certain he's the main bad guy from Better Call Saul.
Wait, or we might not even be... Hold on. Let me just show you right here. By the way, did you do the intro, Phil, enough for
But
this
also,
thing?
how much of an emotional, needy basket case is Hawkeye? He tells his children he loves them about every 4 seconds.
Oh, that's
Love you,
what I would
kids.
do if
Kids
I had a
love you.
kid.
Love you, kids. Love you. Love you.
You can tell he wants
So
to
we're
retire.
talking about this guy, right?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. No wonder, because that guy does not fit in the Better Call Saul universe. I thought you were talking about the dad that died.
No. The Vera Farmiga's boyfriend, Jack. The guy
Oh
she
yeah,
needs a
yeah.
mustache.
Oh yeah. I recognized him from that guy with the. I think it's a fake mustache. I'm not completely
Oh,
sure.
I hope it's a fake mustache.
But I totally recognized him. But father figures, and it's always been slippery. But so what?
Here's my.
The writing isn't very good. We can say that.
I'm calling the mid LGBTQ2 surprise of this show that Kate, I believe her name is, Hawkeye girl,
Bishop.
is going to be gay. And the way that this show lazily tries
But that's okay.
to do it is okay, but the way that this show lazily tries to tell you that that's going to be the thing is she wears a black tuxedo when her mom asked her to wear a red dress.
I thought it was stylish, and I
I
date
thought
a girl
it was
who had a boyfriend.
pandering and stupid because gay women
She
can
could be-
wear whatever they want. But I think that's going to be their way of
But you
saying
don't
she's
even
gay.
know her orientation,
But
so
I
how
think
can you
that's
say?
what they'll do, and I think that's really
I
stupid.
think it's just like little hints that lead up to it doesn't matter because like that's what they're trying to do right now is that do it like subtly.
Maybe I just didn't find it that subtle, and I was like, "This is really stupid." If this is how they
I
did
just
it.
liked her.
But I
black
may be totally
tuxedo.
wrong, and it may have just been, that character wants to wear that. Great. I hope they do that. I hope they don't try to shoehorn in a gay thing with this.
Oh, you know what's interesting? Oh, hey.
Could be either way.
First off, I was realizing that Emily Dickinson was gay, and she plays Emily Dickinson on her TV show Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I thought it was really interesting. The one odd thing about Bumblebee is that the romantic arc in that movie is like it stops like three rings short. I don't even think that they kiss in Bumblebee, or I don't even remember that.
I cannot
Seinfeld
remember
thing.
paying attention to
Of
Bumblebee.
course, in the first thing we all saw her in was in True Grit. She's too young. She doesn't have a romantic
Wonderful in
interest.
True Grit, though.
I saw Pitch Perfect 2. I do not recall her having a romantic interest in that. So, yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter.
But it felt like they were trying to do something. Hopefully, I'm
I
wrong
think-
because I look for something
I don't
in
think.
everything.
I think you're begging subtlety that this show does not show that it has. So I don't think it means.
I think
too
Rob
much.
is right, but I think you don't need to worry about it hitting it hard on the nose.
I
later.
think we're actually hitting on something that TV shows and movies do a lot, where they do a lot of fan service. They call it like queer baiting, like LGBTQ stuff. So LGBTQ people in the community can look at, oh, she does this, so she must be, without actually paying. Like, they basically pay lip service to it without actually doing any of the work within the story to establish this character. And
It's
that's
a
what
happens
bothers
to
me.
be.
Yeah.
Also-
well, either way, I hope it's handled well. If it even matters, it probably won't because
So
Hawkeye's
there's
been,
some
asexual
pointless
himself.
underground
Oh yeah.
thing that's going on. What's the word I'm looking for?
Can I give my
not
big
pointless.
Auction.
I want to
Auction.
give. Can I give one nitpick though before we even get into
Just
it?
one.
And it's about the end of the second episode. And we can say it because they're in a block, and it's just basically effectively my one of two nitpicks. When you end a show with somebody who is supposed to be important, but you give us no idea of who they're supposed to be, and just them being there and angry is supposed to be enough to serve as a cliffhanger, it doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure that's Marvel's fucking Otis Operandi.
Yeah,
And
it's what Marvel
she-
has become.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be.
And she's getting her own
Well,
show.
Yeah, they always say that. They always say at one
No,
point
it's
Tom
confirmed.
Cruise's spin-off character from Tropic Thunder was supposed to get his
It's
own show.
confirmed. It's already set.
Oh, it's confirmed, eh? Well,
But-
then. Whoa.
Okay,
So,
we will see.
At this pointless auction, it's a good thing that this 110-pound, 5'8" girl is clearly the same size as Jeremy Renner as Ronan because the suit fits perfectly.
Jeremy Renner is kind of small though.
Not in this movie. He's kind of chubby, I would say. But
Oh yeah. The
in my
age is
opinion, I'm
starting
like,
to show.
the suit
why?
was slightly baggy.
Yeah, just slightly. Have you seen how small the girl is though? when she
But then
stands
it
beside
also
next to
fit the
Jeremy
tall
Renner?
black dude. So
And again, this is,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
that
know
was
these
with-
are nitpicky points,
Yeah.
but they pull me out of a movie, out of a
It's
show.
the
I would
Ghostbusters
say the
thing
guy
for
in the
sure, yeah.
LARPing, and it's like
Yeah.
nobody makes a big deal out of the guy that like stole his fucking costume. Why don't you beat his ass because he
Exactly.
stole your costume? It's like, oh, I gotta
He's
fight this
not
guy.
not allowed to. They set that up, which I was
Why
like,
is he
yeah,
not
okay.
allowed to?
It has to be in trial by combat because that's part of the LARPing
You have to be in
rules.
character.
But I don't like the guy stole.
Yeah,
he
I totally
broke the
agree
law.
with you. I totally agree with you.
That
Remember when they fought the Chitauri and Ultron and excuse me,
Yeah,
Thanos
Mr. Burp.
and the children of Thanos? The bad guys in this show were called what?
I don't
The
remember.
The Tracksuit
tracksuit,
Mafia.
yeah. I was gonna say jogging suit.
And
Because
they're
it's
constantly,
supposed to be-
bro, I will take it down.
Because it's
bro."
supposed to be like a low level
It's
thing.
funny, but I'm just watching this going, this is really indicative of Hawkeye. Because he is the most useless of the Avengers.
He
right?
seems. Oops, sorry. He seems like the most useless.
I think he is. He's
But they
absolutely the most
affect it.
useless of
But
the
they make
Avengers.
him. But they routinely show Hawkeye as somebody at the top of his form who's better, who beats expectations.
Like Black Widow.
For one thing, he's surprisingly the only one who doesn't get mind controlled by Wanda in Avengers 2. He has a hideout for all of them to go to and stay together and brings them together.
But he gets mind controlled by Loki.
In the
Avengers?
first one, because
In
he's
the
a
first
rookie.
one, they're two different movies, Phil.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's just the same thing.
Because he's caught off guard. This is the very first time that they're dealing with interdimensional things, and that's just because Joss Whedon didn't really care for Hawkeye until until they saw the his humanistic value to ground the Avengers dramatically. So there's that, and I also like where he places in Civil War too. How it's like he's not like you. He's somebody who you think is useless, and that's routinely made fun of. As well as the inconsistent way in which some people recognize Hawkeye and some people don't. Yet somehow Ant-Man is famous. That doesn't make any sense. But
If you can grow that large, you're
So
going to be
the-
famous.
Tracksuit Mafia.
Okay,
is who
here's
he
the
takes on.
the tracksuit mafia.
Tracksuit Mafia.
The whole show is just
Fucking puts
basically.
fear in your bones.
It's
doesn't
kind
it?
of. They're
Tracksuit
supposed
Mafia.
To,
It's a
they're
bait and
supposed to
switch.
be goofy though, right?
The
Yeah.
Adidas
It's
a
a white
killers.
Christmas story. It's supposed
It's
to.
They-
a bait and switch that they're being
Reebok
shown as the main bad guys,
gangsters.
and that's going to change.
Yeah, when really it's this girl who. Does anybody have any idea who she's supposed to be?
So
Do you have
Hawkeye
the note of that?
is a grown man
Okay.
with 3 children in his late 40s wearing a denim backpack.
Okay, who cares?
He looks stupid,
Yeah,
is my point.
sure.
Hawkeye is a stupid character. He looks stupid. He acts
disagree.
stupid. He's worthless.
Then why are you watching the show, Rob?
So
I
Hawkeye
told him to.
insults Eleanor for saying "I love you" to her mother. Meanwhile, he said it 14 times per minute to his own children.
Who
That was
insults
funny.
He
But,
insults
but he
who?
loves his
insults-
children. You're a father. You get it.
Yeah, then why insult a daughter for saying "I love you" to her mother?
Who is he insulting for saying I love
Eleanor,
him?
when she's on the phone with her mom, and he says something along the lines to her of like "I love you," or he says something like sarcastic, or "Do you really need to say that?" or something when she's talking to her mother on the phone.
Rob,
when
how
they're in
many
the-
times do you say sarcastic shit to your
No,
kids?
but that's kind of I don't. Here's the thing: the movie isn't memorable enough for me to remember that, but or the TV show, but I sort of remember it, and I sort of remember it being like a weird like. Why would you say that? And this movie is filled with that, so it's like I'll
I
grant you,
feel
but-
that the second episode is full of it. The second episode of this show is taking the Eternals approach, where they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks, and they're going to go with what sticks. And then the last thing I have is the fencing scene. It just sums up perfectly why this show doesn't interest me. It's very pedestrian.
poorly
It's
written.
uninteresting. It's boring. It does nothing to say. Here's why this show is interesting and why I should watch it. Loki at least had.
an interesting.
Yeah, you're
premise
never
and-
going to see this in any of the other shows.
Yeah.
WandaVision was absolutely, you're never going to see this in any other shows. This has nothing.
Somebody made a good comment on TikTok about how this show is trying way too hard to adhere to the history of the Hawkeye comics, however mangled they
Yeah.
may be.
Oh, maybe,
Whereas Loki, it's like the people saw the covers of the Loki comic books and they're like, yeah, good enough. And they freewheeled it. And this should be more freewheeling, but it's
For me, and I'll watch it, hoping to go somewhere. I'm not saying that it's complete dog shit, but for me, it's uninteresting.
I'm
and my
curious-
biggest problem is I watched it after Midnight Mass, which was so good.
Yeah.
And then I watched this, I'm like, this is shitty.
I'm curious what you think the end result of this season will be.
Well, it's only 5 episodes. I hope that
Is
it's
it only 5? I thought it was like 6 or 7. Or
I heard that it's 5. We can look it
doesn't
up.
matter.
I hope that the tone, the way the second show ended, I hope it keeps that tone. A little bit of goofiness.
Who's the bad
But you
guy?
don't even like it.
I like if it continues from that, I'll be very happy that maybe it stumbled out of the gate and gets better.
Who's
Anything can stumble
There's
out of the
6
gate.
episodes, by the way.
Who's the bad guy?
Don't care.
It's the mother. That's my guess. I don't know.
No. That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay,
that's a good
here's
point.
my overall problem with this show. One of the problems beyond nitpicks I discussed earlier is that it doesn't take a position on Kate Bishop's privilege, which I find very irritating. Of like they go.
What'd she say to her? She says, "You're both rich and smart,"
which is very on the nose, and I don't like that because it's like just because you're rich doesn't make you like less of a person. And then the other thing is just like overall detail. I find the show a bit sloppy. The best example is like when she's typing a sentences at a time by going like this, and everybody pointing out.
Match, yeah.
It's like, what the hell is this? And it just shows that it's like a pretty sloppy show.
That's autocorrect.
Like, why is she
ducking Hawkeye?
I don't get why she's so mad at this guy. She's like, you're lying, but it's like he lied about being good at fencing, and it's like, who cares?
Yep.
So it's
this,
emotions and its angles of the whatever direction it's Rice Thomas do a better job.
But it also feels like they're trying to. She might be mad at him. She might be mad at her. Might be mad at him. That might be a bad guy. It feels like the spaghetti approach. Throw it at the wall.
I think that's just how it's going to feel at first, but
it could be. It very well
together.
could be.
But
I hope it comes together.
I hope too.
Do you think Kate Bishop is likable enough?
I think she's. I think she's fine.
I think like they're building the. Is it the New Avengers for her?
No idea.
There's two groups. There's the New Avengers.
And then the new
I will
Avengers.
say,
no, the
I'd be more interested
New Avengers.
in watching her than I would be the new girl that's supposed to be the new Black Widow. I'd far more watch this girl.
She's
Yelena.
on the Bad Avengers team.
Okay, but this girl, the Kate Bishop girl,
Anti-Avengers.
Do you
is
think
at
that's
least-
going to be the conflict of the next Avengers? Good Avengers versus bad Avengers?
It's going to be the new class versus the anti-Avengers.
Does the new class include
new class as
Wanda?
well.
Is Wanda a part of that? Or
No, I don't think so. No.
Isn't it going to be the?
So it's going to be Captain
the bad
America,
girl-
Anthony Mackie.
Whatever she's getting her Ophelia or whatever the girl, the bad girl from WandaVision. She's getting her own spin-off show. She might be a bad guy.
yeah.
Grew up against Doctor Strange.
Yeah. But it's like
Catherine Hahn's character, Agatha.
Was it Agatha?
Yeah.
the thought process is the new Black Widow, the sister,
Yelena.
is going to be
Florence
on the
Pugh.
bad team, but she's going to switch over to the good team.
Just like Black
I'd
Widow
rather
did
watch
in Civil War.
Kate Bishop than that girl. That girl, she was fine, but I don't care about her character. She was a nothing in that movie. This girl has a little bit of background.
The one thing that
interest
bothers
to
me,
watch her.
I keep saying the one thing. The multiple things bother me. Her skill as an archer, like I get that she's supposed to be the world's greatest, but it's very indefinite. Of like she's bad enough to miss the first time, but like good enough to hit like I don't know.
An
it's
impossible
just,
shot the second time.
It's like, what does she have to learn
it
from
was a
Hawkeye when she's
different-
already taking out guys? She seems too fully formed, which is the same problem I had with.
But what about you, Phil? You had points to write
No,
down?
I think she's fully formed in the separate things, but she needs to bring it all together into one.
To defeat what? To overcome what? What's her goal as a character?
To become a superhero, that's what she wants
No,
to be.
I think you're right on the nose. It's her mom, and she's going to have to. Oh my God, this one person who's always stuck up for me that I've always loved. The one person
Her family
is the one person to go against me. Maybe my family is not my blood family; it's my friends and
But
blah
that
blah
conflicts
blah.
with Hawkeye's message, so then they have to kind of differentiate those.
But
arcs.
that's kind of wouldn't that be kind of interesting? Hawkeye's message was the only people that mattered to me were my
Yeah, it would
family,
be.
my blood
Hawkeye's
family.
going to take her on as like his family.
But this girl's arc is going to be that, hey, my family is the guy that I met, not my real mother. Blah blah blah.
in the real world, if this was not Marvel /
Hurrah!
Disney,
yeah.
it would in the real world he would be having an affair with this girl because she's 20
Wait,
something.
who would be? Oh, Jeremy Renner would
Yeah.
be.
No, I mean like I
Jesus.
don't mean in the real world Jeremy Renner. I mean like
Yeah, I know.
this
he did
type
go
of
through a divorce, though.
situation in the real world. It would just be like I'm gonna hit on this chick because that's how some guys
I'm
are.
more optimistic than you. I think if he's like, oh,
It's not
there's
as much
this,
of a pig
if
as
he
you
would
are.
come clean, he's like, oh, I'm mentoring this fan. Like I don't know. Given what they've established that the wife, crucially, is not like a shrill, that like they'd get the benefit of the doubt. If this were a straight drama, which a lot of Marvel movies usually play as, the problem I find now is they get too bogged down by their own history now that it's like 2-3 projects in a row now where it's like really hobbled them.
There's
I think I'm optimistic for the series, even though my dad got mad at me for not saying it's better than it is. I'm like, oh, it's okay. He's like, no, it's good. And it's like, because we've watched a lot of shit, and this is like the first watchable thing I've seen in a while of like a pretty decently produced show.
I enjoy
There's
it.
a lot going on, a lot of positive aspects, but
Oh shoot, that's not a big deal.
yeah. But yeah, that's just what I think. I'm optimistic. I know that the show, especially following Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that it's not going to be top tier or whatever. So with those lowered expectations, I'm going to go in feeling positive.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Do you think they'll
hoping it
fuck up the ending
improves.
like they do on all these Marvel TV shows?
No, I think they'll lead to her being a badass bitch, and she's gonna have to deal with this huge thing with her mom, and then that'll lead into wherever they're taking it for a movie.
Next
Do you
movie.
think Hawkeye is going to die?
Unless Hawkeye does really well,
Fuck, I
they'll
can
give
hope
him
so.
A season
Do you
two.
guys think? And finally, do you guys think
No, he's
that
not gonna die.
He should.
I have a problem? I don't think he should. They overuse that trope of like this character has to die to move on.
He
Like,
might
I like
retire.
what they did with
Could be.
yeah.
I think that's where it's leading to.
But then there's always the problem. It's like, okay, if you're that good,
well, she's
why?
the takeover. She's the new Hawkeye, pretty much.
and they pretty much they have replacements for everybody at this point.
Yeah.
My thing is how necessary to watching these TV shows is it going to be to watch the movie? Because I hope it's like none.
I think it's more.
Even though
like-
they make them actively a part of Phase 4.
it's gonna be like it's gonna be hinted on in the movie, and then the people that didn't watch it, that'll make them want to watch that later.
But they're
I
not
think
going
it's
to
gonna
miss
be-
anything.
I
They're
think
not
it's going to
gonna
be
miss
the
anything.
appendices of
You're
Lord
right.
of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's nice to know this backstory information, but you don't have to.
It's like if someone came into Avengers and started watching the movie and was like, okay, this is a great movie. Oh, there's movies before this that
Yeah,
was
exactly.
their origin story. Oh, that'd be cool to
Yeah,
watch.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
kinda
good to know.
All right, Phil.
Thank you for watching Watch and Complain. WatchingComplain.com.
Filmgamer.com.
I'm Bill.
Well, what's your podcast? You
Yeah.
I'm on the fucking podcast.
You never
Yeah,
plug your
holiday
other
podcast
podcast.
where-
Fuck that podcast.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
my other podcast.
No, tell it. I
That's
wanna
what
know.
you should
I
call
actually
it.
wanna know
Fuck
what
the other podcast.
You have a good name
Dot
now.
com.
What's the name of the podcast?
Three amazing people and Rob.
Yeah. Three amazing people in Rome. All right.
I'll link it.
I like it when we all have something to promote.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Horsecock.com.
Oh, great.